Stay messy. Stay messy.
Stay messy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Messy. It's me, Milva. I'm back. I'm excited to be back. Every time I don't do the pod, I feel like I miss it more and more every time. And I haven't done an episode these past couple weeks because I've been really wanting to think about how I want to close off the year with Stay Messy. And the only thing that came to mind that really stood out to me was doing kind of a 25 things that I learned in 2025. I think it's the best way to close out the year. I think it's the best way for me to reflect on everything that's happened to me this year, because 2025 was not an easy one. Trust me. I know it hasn't been an easy one for me. It hasn't been an easy one for a lot of people. So I wanted to do this little recap just to kind of reminisce. I don't know if that's the right word. Anyways, reminisce on everything that's happened to me throughout this year and really think about what I learned during this year that I will carry with me for a really, really long time. So I also want to know what you guys know. So if you guys want to comment, if you feel motivated, let me know something that you guys learned. But I guess I'm just going to start off by reading the list I made, because I made a list. The first thing I put here is not everyone deserves forgiveness, and you don't need everyone to forgive you. And I say this because a lot of people are always oh, just forgive them, and move on, move past it. But I don't think everyone always deserves that, especially not when they haven't treated you in the best way. I think it's important to release, definitely release, but not everybody deserves your forgiveness and the permission to come back into your life if they've done you wrong. So definitely it's one of those things that is kind of situation based, but I think that not everyone deserves forgiveness. You don't need everyone to forgive you either. Man, if somebody decides not to forgive you, it kind of is what it is. As long as you stand by what you did and you do feel what you did is correct and you didn't act in any type of way that was necessarily disrespectful or warrants any type of hatred to be sustained or whatever, I don't think that everybody needs to forgive me, because I think that I do everything from the bottom of my heart. I try to be genuine. I don't try to treat people in ways that they don't treat me. Or I don't like to treat people I don't like to treat people how I don't like to be treated. So that is one thing that I feel has really been established this year, because I've just been through a lot of hardships in relationships and friendships and family, that I kind of learned that I don't really need everyone's forgiveness. And I also don't need to forgive everyone, because I do tend to forgive people really easily, and I don't think that everybody really deserves that allowance of being able to treat me any type of way and then saying sorry but doing it all over again makes really no sense to me. I guess that kind of leads me into point number 2, which is that cutting people off is hard, and that involves both friendships and relationships. I'm really bad at cutting people off, and I think that it's truly does stem from a place of I know that people can grow and be better and just improve, but sometimes I have that hope a little bit too high for everybody that surrounds me. And I don't always think that's a good thing. Well, no, truly. I just don't think it's a good thing. It's never a good thing to allow people to keep coming into your life and treating you the way they want to treat you and then leaving. Or just kind of wanting to come back, not really even leaving. And for me, cutting people off is extremely hard. I think it's because I'm a very forgiving person. I tend to just kind of look past everything, very much forgive and forget. And I've learned to forgive but not forget. I think I've been way better about it this year, for sure. I think I've been way better about cutting people off that don't deserve to be in my life, because I'm entering this new era of my life where my priority is me, and if I'm not happy and this person is making me unhappy, why would I continue to have them in my life when it's not really serving me? And most of the time it's really just serving them, which is why they keep coming back into your life. The third thing that I wrote on this list is that time heals all. I've had a lot of things happen to me this year, and a lot of heartbreaks. I don't refer to like just romantic heartbreaks. I think friendship heartbreaks also fall into that category. And at the time, everything feels like it's the end of the world. At the time, I feel like the world is going to crumble like over me, and I'm drowning in like a glass of water. But I reflect back and I'm like, dang, that was just like a couple weeks of being sad. And it always feels like the end of the world. Truly, I am a very dramatic person. I'm a Scorpio. So I'm literally like the most dramatic person you'll ever meet when it comes to like yearning or like grieving somebody. Like I'm literally so dramatic. But I kind of like have to hype myself up and be like, okay, girl, it's not that deep. It's literally like you're going to be over it in 2 weeks. And I think that's helped me a lot in kind of like not letting myself really like fall into that. Not letting myself like just like, it's okay to be sad, of course. So you can be sad for a couple weeks. But I think the important part is realizing that time does heal all. And as long as you let yourself process that during the time that you are sad, it won't extend into anything longer. It won't run into other parts of your life. And being really centered in that, because allowing yourself to be sad is really important. I should have added that to the list. But I think that like really just like realizing that it'll like you'll get over it. Essentially, it sounds really mean, but you will get over it, is kind of like the key to really just staying sane, honestly. Because if I don't talk to myself and be like, oh, like, girl, you'll get over this eventually, I will just like stay in this cycle of being sad and not really getting out of that funk because of whatever put me in that funk. So I think really just like hyping yourself up to know that like time really does heal all, and things always get better. Things really do always get better. I've noticed anytime something bad has left my life, I feel like my life has improved like tenfold. So time heals all. And with that, my next one is friends can be family. And for me, I think this really stems from a place of, I don't know if you guys can hear my floor creaking in the background, but my apartment is old, so don't mind it. Friends can be family. Going back to like the main topic of this, friends can be family. For me personally, I moved to Chicago and I've been by myself for a really long time. So I've made it a priority to really just like find community in the people that surround me. So for me, my friends are just like truly my people. I don't have any family over here. So they're really the ones that I lean on whenever I need support, whenever I need somebody I can count on, whenever I need people there for me. And they include me in their like Christmases and Thanksgivings, and like because they know I'm by myself, and their families have welcomed me with like open arms. And it's just like so meaningful to me that they feel so comfortable with having me around, that they want to include me in their family events, and they want to make sure that I'm not like alone. And they're like so conscious of that, and I'm literally gonna fucking cry. Get it together. Anyways, friends are family. Anyways, inconvenience is the price of having a village is the next one. This is number 5 following this last one, because I think a lot of people want to have a village without inconvenience. I think a lot of people want to have a village where it's only convenient to them, like to where it's the village basically like has some sort of something support, emotional support, monetary support, whatever, because it's convenient to them, but they're not willing to inconvenience themselves for other people. And I think it's important to realize that inconvenience truly is the price of having a village. To have a village, that's what it'll cost you. Like, it'll cost you going out of your way for other people, helping your friend move out of their apartment and carrying big boxes, or simply like, hey, like, this, like, I know you're going this way, it's kind of out of my way, but I'll drop you off. It might be a little bit inconvenient for me because of the road that I'm taking, but I'll totally do that for you. And just being conscious of, like, even if it's inconvenient to you, the things that you will reap from doing that, from having that inconvenience, is having a community, having people there for you, having your village. And building your village is the most important thing that you can do. I've built my village here in Chicago in the 3 years that I've been here. And I'm feeling really established in my little village. I'm so happy for the people that I've met. And they really are like my support system and the people that I lean on for everything. Like, any little mental breakdown, any little like drama that happens in my life, like, they've ridden with me, they've ridden the waves with me. Anytime I have a project, like, the support is just like insane. Anytime I'm like thinking of doing something, the encouragement is crazy. And I get that back. Like, obviously I give it back, but I get that because the same way that they've inconvenienced themselves for me is the way that I'm willing to inconvenience myself for them. And if you're not willing to inconvenience yourself for your village, then literally, like, what are you doing? Anyways, number 6 is say yes to more things, because you never know what doors will open. I've been in Chicago 3 years, and I've literally said yes to almost like everything that's come my way. I say yes. I was like a little club promoter for a little bit there, like, not even like for real. I've worked for like a bunch of different places. I think like saying yes to every opportunity has gotten me to like where I am. Like, for example, within my career, right now I work in human resources at a nonprofit. I work in training and development. And the only way that I got here is because originally I was in the service industry. I was a bartender, a server, hostess, honestly, whatever they needed me to do that night. I was very like versatile. I have all the skills, you know. But at some point I was like, I don't know if I want this to be the rest of my life. I've worked with like older coworkers that haven't really left the industry since they got there. And I think that I never envisioned that life for myself. Honestly, it was good money. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm like, I miss the money. I wish that I was making this bartending money instead of sitting behind a desk all day. But I knew that it was a choice I had to make so that I could improve my future and make myself more hireable in the future and have like that expanded skill set that I have. So I took a job at this like home health agency, and essentially what they do there is that they basically find like nurses for elderly people and make sure that they have like the help that they need. So I found that job and it sucked. I hated it there. There was a 40-year-old coworker that literally was like, she was obsessed with me. She hated me for literally no reason except like the fact that I existed. I literally staffed all of her employees. But anyways, I digress. Anyways, so basically like I'm at this job that I hate, and I decide to randomly apply for this temp job. I was like, I just need something to get me out of here before I literally lose my marbles. I was literally on the verge of losing it. Like, that job had me so depressed, like so like out of like my mind, because I just felt like it just wasn't a good fit for me. So anyways, I applied to this like temp job. I literally don't even know what I'm applying to. When you apply to a temp job, it's literally like just like a random company. They don't even tell you like where you're gonna work. It's like it's the company of the temp, like the company name is the temp agency, like when you apply. So I applied to this job. They give me an offer, whatever. I literally say yes. I'm like, I don't care how much you're gonna pay me. I just need to get out of here. I take this job, and honestly, I'm so glad I took this job. When I first started out at this job, I was an HR assistant, which was just like my temp role. They just needed like some additional support. They had some people quit. During this temp job, I think I worked there for like 6 months, and at some point they offered me a full-time job, and I said yes again. I was still in my same position, but I was a full-time employee, so I wasn't working for hourly wages. Even though I was working the same hours, but I wasn't working for hourly wages, so I had benefits and everything. And I just kept moving up to the point where I really like evaluated my skill set, evaluated the departments that were within like HR, and I realized that training and development was a good fit for me. So I just decided to take a risk and be like, the worst somebody can say is no. I talked to my boss and I told her, I was like, oh, I'm interested in joining the training and development department. I think I really like what they do. I think I have like a strategic mindset for it. I think I can do it. And she thought about it and moved me to the department. And I've literally, like, I think every time I've said yes brought me to this point where I'm not only getting to know myself better, like professionally, but being able to decide what I want as a career, which is something that I've always been really indecisive about. What people might not know about me is that I dropped out of college. So that's essentially why I joined the service industry, because I didn't exactly know what else to do. And money makes the world go round, girl. Like, if you don't got money, you don't got nothing. So I personally did not want to be homeless. So yeah, I basically like started this job. I think like it's really brought me to places that like are like mindsets that I didn't know I would have. It's brought me skills that didn't know that I had. Like, I've been able to sharpen like so many of my skills. And I truly did get there from saying yes to every door that opened on the way, because I could have just stopped at HR assistant and said like, I'm cool here. But I think like I was really trying to think about what would benefit me in the long run, and switching was really it. I think it's definitely been one of the best decisions I've taken. And not only that, but man, my manager and I, we like this. Nobody needs to know this, but we like this. And he's really cool and he's supportive, and he's just like letting me do my thing. Anytime there's like a project that he's like, you think you can lead this? Like, I trust you fully. I'll be like, yes. And every time I've said yes, I've had the opportunity to like grow my skills and really like figure out what it is that I enjoy and I don't enjoy, which I think only comes with like that real life experience. I think with like saying yes and everything, I think this really leads into the next point, which is point number 7 of 25. You're only this young once, so fuck it. I think that I've been really living by that mentality, because I'm literally 26. I don't have any kids. I'm single. Why wouldn't I just do whatever I want and be like, fuck it? Nobody pays my bills. I pay my own bills. Nobody sends me any money for anything. Like, nobody's out here that has the ability to control my life for real, because I have financial control of what I do and what I spend my money on. And it's literally like, unless you're paying my bills, you cannot control me. And I'm literally young. I can do whatever I want. I can, well, not whatever I want, but like, I can take advantage of the opportunities that come to me, because I'm in a position where I can, where I don't have a responsibility like a child to take care of. And if I don't take advantage of these opportunities now, what am I going to tell my child when I have them? That I was a boring bitch in Chicago at the age of 26? No, I was a fun bitch at the age of 26. They're not going to know all my stories, because I don't think all of them are appropriate for children. But I do think that it's cool to like be able to, like, I don't know, like maybe like 20 years from now, sit down with like my teenager and be like, yo, like, your mom was crazy. Like, this is the stuff that I did. Don't do what I did. Like, and just kind of like reflect on every crazy time I've had here with my people, and like the people that I've met and the places that I've lived, because I've lived in like 3 states already. So just kind of like have those anecdotes to share and take advantage of my youth, because I don't want to be, well, I do actually. I want to be old and boring. So I'm going to take advantage of me being young so I can be young and fun. I'm totally fine with being old and boring. I've lived a life and a half already. you know, like figuratively speaking, because I just be saying yes to everything. And I'm a yapper. I don't shut up, so I be meeting new people, and then opportunities just like appear, and I'm like down for anything. And I think that's what's beautiful about being young. Like, why wouldn't I be young and fun and just like YOLO and oh my god, literally just doing whatever the fuck I want. That's it. I'm young and I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, and I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it. That leads me to the next point, actually. I didn't even realize. So number 8 is, who cares what people will say about you? Who gives a fuck what people are gonna say about you? Literally, do not give a fuck. Do not give a fuck. Unless, actually, no, even if you're paying my bills, I don't give a fuck what you have to say about me. First of all, you're not controlling my life. You don't know how I live my life. I think social media is a whole nother thing that gives people, quote unquote, gives people the right to talk about what you do. When in reality, the things that I post on social media aren't even like they don't reflect like 75% of what actually happens in my life. So what you're seeing is literally this 10-second video of my life, and you want to sit there and judge me and say that I'm a party girl, that I do this, that I do that I'm irresponsible. No, because you don't really know what's happening behind closed doors. So at the end of the day, if you're not in my life, if you are not one of the people that I talk to regularly, I don't give a fuck what you have to say about me. Because the people that I talk to regularly are those people that know me, know my personality, know my habits, know what I do, what I say, what I stand by, my values. And if those people sit there and they're like, hey, homegirl, I think you're doing X, Y, and Z wrong, those are the people that I'm going to listen to. But you think I'm going to listen to Little Miss fucking, I don't fucking know, like Alicia, Mariah, Maria, whatever the fuck, you know, talking about some, this girl, she, da 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 da. No, I don't care. I literally don't give a fuck. Because judging me based on what you think you know, because not that you know, you think you know, is never going to be accurate. Because I'll never show my cards fully until you get to know me for real. So nothing that you really say affects me. Truly, I release you. Bye. The number 9 is, this is a good one. Okay, I want to expand on this one. Number 9 is, never trust a man's words. I could probably leave it at that. Never trust a man's words. Never trust a man's words. And I talked about this with Gusti in the last episode. We were kind of going over he was saying, he's like, never trust him, like what a guy says, like he can sweet talk you, always look at his actions. I said this last episode and I will say it again. I am a dumb bitch. Because I am like a hopeless romantic at the end of the day. I'm a hopeless romantic at the end of the day. I believe in like love, and like I think everything can be perfect and somebody can be perfect, and like, well, not perfect, like nobody's perfect, but you know what I mean, like romantically, like I think like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet somebody and we're gonna brush shoulders and we're gonna fall in love and it'll be such a meet cute, and you know, like, or like I'll drop my pencil and they'll pick it up and give it to me. And I'm like a hopeless romantic in that way, and I'm a sucker for sweet talk. And I think something I learned, well, I didn't learn this year, I knew it, but I'm trying to like hold myself to it a little bit more, is to never trust a man's words. And I'm gonna try to keep holding myself to it next year. I'm gonna try because I'm just a dumb bitch. What can I say? But yeah, number 9 is never trust a man's words. I'm gonna go into something lighter because I'm getting kind of like hated right now. I hate a man. Number 10 is, be the type of person that you want around you. I think a lot of people like want somebody around them. Like they want a good friend, they want a good partner, and they're not willing to be a good friend or a good partner. So if you're not being the type of person that you want around you, why would you expect people to be good to you? And I'm not saying that just because somebody's treating you bad that you should treat them bad back. I'm just saying, like, if you are giving them more than what you're being given, why would you keep them around? And definitely, like, if you're not being the best version of a friend or a partner that you can be, then that's the moment that you really need to, like, reevaluate, like, what you're doing and change your behavior and kind of, like, adjust from there. But I don't know, some people just aren't, like, self-aware enough, truly, to just be like, maybe I'm not being a good person. So take this as you may. Like, if you really want to take this to heart, definitely, like, just kind of, like, look outside yourself and think, am I being the person that I want to have around me? Because if the answer is no, then maybe you should change your behavior. Take that as you may. Number 11, I think, really goes hand in hand with this one, and it's that a little bit of empathy goes a long way. I think I also struggle, like, going back to the cutting people off. I struggle with cutting people off because I tend to, like, step into other people's shoes too much and look at it from, like, their perspective too much and kind of, like, make excuses for them in my head. But I think that even if somebody is not treating you in the best way, you can be empathic to their situation because you really don't know what they have going on at home or in their head. I think some people just have a lot going on in their head and they just don't have the mental bandwidth to be nice, be happy, be polite, be good in the moment. It's always like being empathic just goes such a long way, and you never know what could change somebody's behavior. You never know if literally you being nice to them or just giving them a compliment will change their attitude, because somebody might be mean to you, but it's not because they want to be mean to you. It's probably because they're mean to themselves in their head. So I think taking into consideration other people's situations, of course, this is like a case by case, but taking into consideration other people's situations and what they're going through at the moment is always, like, super important, because I imagine that at some point in your life, empathy has been extended to you even when you haven't noticed, because somebody noticed that you're having a hard day and maybe you snapped at them, and instead of snapping back and treating you, like, badly, they've just kind of, like, swallowed their words and been like, okay, this isn't, like, the person I know. And even, like, with strangers, a lot of the time they might just be going through a lot. Some people are just rude and that's just their nature, but some people are triggered by certain things, and if they're going through something in their head, they just don't have the bandwidth. Sometimes I don't have the bandwidth to be empathic. I'm not saying that you have to be, like, 100% empathic 100% of the time. Sometimes I'm in a place where mentally I just can't offer you my empathy. I can't be nicer to you than I'm being to myself. And I think with empathy, you're gonna have to flip that around. You have to kind of think that maybe the person that's being mean to me can't be extremely nice to me because they're being, like, they don't have the bandwidth to be nice to me and be, like, while they're being mean to themselves. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if you got it. I understood what I said. If you didn't get it, run it back. Because I feel like I'm over explaining at this point. I think I'm just going to move forward to number 12, which is do everything with your whole heart. I think anything that you do, if you're not doing it with, like, your whole heart, why would you even do it, you know? And it doesn't mean perfection, because I think, like, there's a difference between, like, passion and perfection. And that is just, like, I think a lot of people lose their passion because they're trying to be perfect. I don't think the two things necessarily go hand in hand. I think I've done that a lot to myself in the past. You know, I think in the effort of being perfect, I tend to lose my passion for things because then it just becomes too much. And I talked about this in one of the episodes, and it was one of the quotes that my coworker told me about that was, perfect is the enemy of good. Perfect is the enemy of good. sometimes you drop what you're passionate about because you're trying to be perfect when you can just be good. Nothing has to be perfect. And a lot of times, what might not seem perfect to you seems perfectly fine to the next person. Perfect is definitely like a perspective thing. And if you're putting that much pressure on yourself that you lose what you're passionate about, then you're kind of like putting yourself in a position to lose, and that's not fair to yourself either. But still, making sure that you're doing everything like with your whole entire heart if you are passionate about it. If you feel like it's something that you feel strongly about, like definitely like put your whole heart into that. But don't let perfect stop you in any type of way, because that's just literally perspective. Number 13 is, even if something doesn't work out the way you wanted, accept the lesson. I've had a lot of things not work out this year. I've had a lot of things that's like includes like my business ventures, romantic relationships, friendships, but everything that has gone wrong, I've just had to like accept and do kind of like a little like reflection and be like, oh, so man, this didn't work out, but what did I learn from this? You know, like I was dating this guy, and I think like I was really like head over heels in love with him because I'm dumb, and it wasn't even like that long of a time frame that we were like dating, but I think I was like really head over heels in love with him, and he really just played me. He had a girlfriend. I'm gonna say it. He had a girlfriend. He really played me. And even though like I don't talk to him anymore, like I am thankful for him showing me that there is somebody out there that I'm compatible with, because I was in like a really toxic relationship. He's not that much better. Let's be so for real. But I think because I was in such a toxic relationship where there was like a lot of things that we weren't truly compatible on, I think he really came into my life in a moment where I needed just like the confirmation that I didn't have to be stuck with what I had been dealing with for so long, and kind of like settling in a way of, okay, me and this person aren't like, we don't share like the same values 100% of the time, or the same mindset, or we don't think the same things are funny, but it's fine. Like that's kind of like where I was at with that toxic relationship. I was like, it's fine, I'll just like look past that. And I think he really entered my life in a time where I needed somebody to grab me by the shoulders and shake me and literally scream in my face. But instead, he came in and really showed me that I can get out and I can find somebody who's gonna be compatible with me and really like a lot of the same things that I like and share a lot of my views and my values, and somebody that I would actually like want to have kids with. I'm not saying that I wanted to have kids with him, but I'm just saying that I can find somebody who like believes in the same things as me and sees life the same way, versus like if I would have stayed with my ex, I feel like I would have been like long term I would have been married and miserable, raising kids with somebody who is the complete opposite of me in that mindset, in just like the way that I would want to raise kids and the respect that you like give to people and things like that. I definitely don't. Yeah, no, that's what he came into my life to learn. So I kind of sat there, and I, even though it wasn't the result I wanted because I was like in love with this man, but I accepted the lesson that came from that, because I think it allowed me to just like really open up my heart and be like, okay, like this didn't work out for obvious reasons. He had a girlfriend, but now I know that I can leave the relationship and be with somebody who I feel better with. So sadly, that's what I learned. Number 14 is stay home and enjoy your rent more. I think that one speaks for itself. Girl, the time that I have spent in my house these past few months, oh, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I wouldn't change it, not a single thing, for anything in the world. I've been enjoying it so much. I've been saving money. I have literally just been enjoying my rent. I don't pay this much. I don't even pay that much. I don't pay this much for an apartment to not be home and take advantage of what I have. Never. Never. I love being at home. And maybe it's like my age. Like I'm becoming more of a homebody. But I really do just like being at home. Like this is where my peace is. This is where I can be me. I can be in pajamas. I don't have to wear a bra. I literally no pants. No pants. Oh, amazing. But yeah, no. Stay home, girl. Enjoy your rent. Leave the streets. No, I'm kidding. I'm literally gonna hit the streets in a second. So like right after this podcast, I'm gonna get ready. So yeah, enjoy your rent more. But still go out. You're only young once. I'm like contradicting myself. But there's time for everything. Number 15 is family is ride or die. Because me and my sister, we be going at it. I love her. Love you, girl. But we be going at it. We be getting into it. But I think it's like one of those things that like you can never be too mad at family. Like you can be pissed, but it's never like a permanent type of piss. It's never gonna be like I'm never gonna speak to you again. Certain cases warrant not speaking to them again. Honestly, I get it. But at the end of the day, your family is gonna let you come back. Like always. Like really, truly ride or die. And trust me, I've done a fair amount of fuck ups in my life, but they've always been there for me. And even if they judge me, because some of them do, for my choices, I don't care. I don't care because I know that in a pinch, I can call somebody and I know that they will move like, what do they say? Like mountains? They'll move mountains for me. And I think that's like truly like priceless. Number 16, we're going to get deep right now. Number 16 is forgive your parents for acting with you the same way that they were raised. And for me, this really stemmed from, I have a difficult relationship with my father. He's very like absent, but present. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I will kind of describe it that way. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. He's like absent but present, and I've spent a lot of years like very mad at him, like didn't talk to him for like a year, and I think it took like a good amount of therapy to have myself release the anger. I think it was just like an anger that I was carrying around because he wasn't being the father that I wanted him to be. But I think one thing that helped me kind of come to terms with that is that maybe he wasn't the father that I wanted because he's being the father that he can be. And it's definitely not enough. But he is just kind of like doing as much as he can. And he definitely can do more. But I think in his head, that's what he feels he can do. So I've kind of had to come to terms with that because I have always been like a daddy's girl. So it was always like super hard for me and like a weight that I would carry on my shoulders, like having like not talking to him or like having a distant relationship with him. So it really helped me a lot to kind of like forgive him for not being the father that I wanted and accepting him for the way that he was able to be a father to me. Because ever since I released that, I just have felt like a lot lighter. I felt like a lot happier, and it's allowed me to focus on like more positive things in my life. I don't want to be like carrying around the weight of being mad at somebody ever, because it's literally not worth it. Like I feel like it ages me to be mad at people, and I just can't take it. It's literally so stressful. In that same wavelength, 17 is go to therapy. Y'all, if you know me, you know that I love my therapist. I love her. She is my girl. I literally, there's nobody I look forward to seeing more than my therapist. Like, that is my girl. And even if I'm having a good week, I meet with her. I only meet with her once a month, like, to be fair. But I think just like talking to somebody who is like an external person who like is literally sworn to secrecy is amazing, because I can tell her anything, and literally it's a judgment free zone, and she'll just help me work through my thoughts, because I am like a verbal processor. I think therapy like really works for me. Sometimes I have like thoughts just like circle my brain, and in that like effort of like getting them out and talking to her and kind of like working with her through some things, it really helps me come to terms with a lot of different things that I might not come to terms with on my own, or sometimes with my friends, because I love my friends, but I don't think it's the same. Like, my friends will always judge me a little bit, and that's fine. Like, sometimes I do stuff that I deserve to be judged for. I'm not even gonna lie. But I feel like just having that like external person that like isn't involved in things to listen to like what you're thinking and like what you have to say, and helping you process those thoughts and get to a conclusion on your own. Oh, amazing. It's the best money I spend every month. I literally don't, oh my God, I love going to therapy. Number 18 is don't rush life. It's kind of like the same wavelength as like You're Only Young Once, but I think it's really important to not pressure yourself to live on a timeline or live on anybody else's timeline, especially not society's timeline. Like, do things when you want to do them. My grandma loves talking about when are you gonna meet a man and get married and this and that. Not anytime soon. I'm not in a rush. I'm literally in a good point in my life. And of course, I'm eventually gonna want that, because that is just something that I want. Like, I want to find a partner that I'm gonna spend my life with, and girl, I don't know if I want to have kids, because that just seems painful. But I'm in literally no rush. I'm in no rush to get married and start a family and settle down and figure out like 100% what I want to do with my life, because why would I be in a rush? Like, I'm literally having such a good time right now. Like, 365 party girl. Number 19 is being selfish isn't always a bad thing. And I will explain. I think that being selfish isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes you need to put number one first. I think that being selfish is a bad thing when it affects the people around you negatively. So if your choice to be selfish is negatively impacting like people that surround you, that's a bad type of selfish. The good type of selfish is I can be selfish and make this choice, but it's not negatively impacting anybody around me, and it's still a positive for me. So know when to be selfish and know when to not be selfish, because being selfish 100% of the time is going to leave you alone and miserable with no friends. Number 20 is to stop telling people everything. I literally have a podcast and I'm like, stop telling people everything. I am a yapper. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I literally have a podcast where I sit on my own and just talk about my life. So I think something that I learned is being very careful with what I tell people. Just because I know a lot of people that run in the same circles. And if my name ever comes up, I don't want to give anybody the fuel to talk about me. Unless it's something that I'm comfortable sharing. Like, I wouldn't share anything here on this public platform that I don't feel comfortable just talking about in general. Because if it's out in the public, why would I be like, I don't want to talk about that. I also don't want to give people, like, if I'm not comfortable with talking about something, I don't want them to, like, bring it up in the wrong place and time, because you can't trust anybody to just, like, not talk about something just because. Like, I'm the type of person that I'll let you celebrate your wins the way that you want to celebrate them and when you want to celebrate them. Unless it's like, I don't know, like the other day I went out to this event with my friends, and my friend had gotten a promotion, so we surprised her with like a sign that was like, congratulations on your promotion. And at that point she had already told everybody though. So I think it's just like really important to kind of like protect your information, because once you say something, it's just out there. Like in Spanish, like you say, eres esclavo de lo que dices y dueño de lo que callas. So you're a slave to what you say and the owner of what you decide to keep quiet. And that has always stuck with me, because oh my God, sometimes I need to learn how to shut the fuck up, because I'm like, just like yapping and I start saying like random things because I don't know when to shut the fuck up. But I think like I've learned a little bit better this year to determine like who I can trust, who I can like share certain things with, and who I can't. And that is definitely not everybody. Like my roommates, they know more about me than most people, and it's because I trust them. Like I literally live with them. If I didn't trust them, I wouldn't live with them. And I don't feel just like walking around and yapping to everybody talking about my business, because they're gonna feel like they're entitled to talk about my business. So I've stopped telling people everything. 21 is forgive even when no apology has been said. And this is kind of contradictory, because in the first one I said not everyone deserves forgiveness and you don't need everyone to forgive you. But I think the point that I wanted to get to with this is forgive even when no apology has been said is just my way of saying that you need to just internally forgive, so that you're not carrying that anger at whoever hurt you, even if they're not willing to apologize, because it's not worth it. Truly, like I said before, anger just ages you. It's literally like, man, like I literally don't have time to be stressed about somebody who doesn't care that they're stressing me out. Anyways, 22 is no revenge because rotten fruit falls on its own. And I found that quote online. I thought that it was a good one, because I do feel like anybody who does things with like a bad intention or lacks the self-awareness to not realize when they're doing something wrong, they'll fall on their own. They will be able they'll fall on their own. They will truly suffer the consequences of their actions and hopefully learn, because some people suffer the consequences of their actions and they don't learn, they just go in harder. I don't think I need revenge from anyone, because nobody has really done anything to me that warrants revenge, and I don't feel like I have the energy or the time to spend plotting revenge on somebody and wanting to be like conniving and evil. Like that also just takes so much of my energy and so much of my space. Like I literally don't want to fucking do that. So I think like that also like goes to the point, like I know that they're just gonna suffer on their own, because if a person hurts you and they're not willing to change, they're gonna hurt the wrong person, and their karma's gonna come back to them, or they're gonna have the same thing that they're doing happen to them, and hopefully at that point they learn their lesson. But I don't know, some people just don't. But yeah, no revenge. It ages you. Everything ages you. Everything that comes with anger ages you. Like you will look old and wrinkly, like a tomato, like a rotten tomato. And yeah, no, it's not even worth it, honestly. It never is. 23 is small progress is still progress. I think a lot of people, me included, put like pressure on themselves to see this like insane amount of progress in anything that they do, and if they're not seeing that insane amount of progress, then it's never worth it, or they just give up. But I don't agree. I think any type of progress is good progress, and just a smaller part of progress shows that you're moving in the direction that you want to move in. So why would you give up? Why would you stop? And celebrating those little wins as they come, they will eventually add up to a big win. So it just doesn't make sense to me when people are like, oh, but we only made this much more money, or we only got this much more followers. And I'm just kind of like, oh, but you made that much more money and you got that much more followers. So like, why are you upset about it? So it's all about perspective. I think switching your perspective is just like such a powerful thing. And it's really just like changed like the way I think about a lot of things. And sometimes you just have to force yourself to change your perspective, because things will come to you when you're like happy and you're glowing and you're bright. If you're like living your life under a dark cloud, you're not gonna get anything done. Everything's just gonna be a negative in your life. Number 24, in honor of my man, Bad Bunny himself, is to take more pictures, because I am horrible at taking pictures. I always forget to take pictures of myself, of my friends. I'm just like living in the moment. And I also have the memory of a goldfish. So I'm living in the moment, but I'm not going to remember the moment because I don't have any pictures to remember it with. So I think that's something I'm going to be more mindful of. And I've tried to be more mindful of in 2025. But moving into 2026, I definitely want to be able to take more pictures and just have those memories. Maybe like make like a memory book. Like I love me a photo strip, so maybe like a photo strip book, or anytime I go out to like a bar that has a photo strip, like a photo booth. But yeah, I really do want to like make sure that I'm documenting my life in a better way. Maybe like build a photo album like we used to do in the 90s and stuff. Like I know my mom has one at home, and I want to make sure that I'm like able to pull out those dusty books and show my kids like, hey, this was Mom when she was 26, and there'll be like a picture of me like shaking ass at the club. No, I'm kidding. But you know, like just kind of having like those things, like my cute little pictures with my roommates, and I don't know, pictures of like the park and me at the park and having fun and just like doing the things that I want to do. And last but not least, we're at the end of the list. We're at number 25 of 25 things that I learned in 2025. And it's that a lot can happen in a year. 2025 was a very transformative year for me. I learned so many things. I gained so many things. I lost so many things. And still here I am standing. Still here I am being the best version of me that I can. Because no matter what happened this year, I'm not gonna like let anything knock me down. And learning from every single thing that happened and growing and being ever evolving is just like so important. And it just is so powerful to like take a look back at the year and see where I started and where I'm at, and be happy of like all the progress I've made, even if it's small progress. And I just hope that 2026 has more beautiful and more wonderful things in store for me, and it's bigger and better, and it just kind of like keeps growing in the direction that I want it to grow, because things are looking up and I want to keep that motion going. I want to keep that momentum. So I think this is a good place to close out the episode. I want to say thank you to anybody who listens to Stay Messy. And I appreciate the listens. I appreciate the support on Instagram. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful 2026 and that you are able to take advantage of it the best that you can, that you enjoy your life, that you switch your perspective, don't let anything get you down, and celebrate even the little wins. So with that, bye 2025, hello 2026. I love you all so much, and remember to stay messy. Bye.
Stay messy. Stay messy.
Stay messy.